Hey there, Dota fans! Are you ready for some pub stomping? Bet you never thought a support could pub stomp, but sometimes it's the dirty work that gets you the win. Tidehunter can be a great support because he is very tanky and has good abilities to harass the enemy team. I like to start by getting the courier or a set of wards, and then some iron branches, a tango, a salve, and some clarity pots. This will give you good sustainability as well as allow you to harass more often. The first ability that you want to put a point into is your gush. This will deal a good amount of magical damage, a slow of 40%, and a small armor reduction that will last about 4 seconds. This ability is great early game and allows you to harass or set up an early kill. Next, get a point into your anchor smash, and you're going to want to max this out first. It has a small cooldown and a small mana cost. It deals a small amount of physical damage, has a damage reduction of 40% for 6 seconds. This ability can also be used for farming, but most importantly, try and hit the enemy carry with this, as it will reduce their damage output for the duration. Next, put a point into your Kraken Shell and leave it there. This will be the last ability that you max. Kraken Shell is a passive that reduces incoming damage, kind of like a Stout Shield. Stout Shield can be good to pick up if you feel you're being harassed too much. It's actually better than Kraken Shell, even though it has a percentage chance to miss. Kraken Shell will back it up too if it does miss. Then you can turn the Stout Shield into a Vanguard, which will give you good health and good health regen. For boots, grab the Mana Boots. Since Tide has such a low mana pool, this should give him all the mana that he needs to spam his Anchor Smash and use his ult in teamfights. Tidehunter's ultimate is Ravage. It is one of the best in my opinion. It has a large cooldown and a large mana cost, but it has a huge AoE radius and deals magic damage and stuns anyone hit by it. After you get your Mana Boots, start working towards a Pipe of Insight. This item is so great on Tide because it makes him so much more tanky and gives him a lot more teamfight potential. It also is a lot easier to work towards since it's made up of a lot of small pieces that you can pick up as you get the gold. Next, you can save up for a Blink Dagger. This will help better position you to get a good Ravage off. Since you're the support, make sure you do everything you can to help your carry win that lane, whether it be stacking and pulling out of the jungle, or ganking from the jungle, or simply to babysit your carry as he gets last hits. Early game, make sure you only use your gush when needed. That way, you'll have more mana left over to spam your Anchor Smash. Also, don't be afraid to use your Ravage early game on key enemy heroes. This will set them even further back on their farm. Mid to late game, Tidehunter is all about helping your team win team fights. So make sure you save your Ravage and group up. However, make sure your team is ready to fight before you initiate. Otherwise, you might put them in a bad position. If you don't have a Blink Dagger, don't worry, you can still get a good Ravage off. Try sitting on top of your tower and waiting for the enemy to come to you. Or, for 100 gold, group up with your team and try smoke ganking. Other than your Ravage, your main goal is to simply be a tank. Try to absorb as many spells and as much damage as you can so that your team doesn't have to. Then, just make sure that your gush hits one of the key enemy heroes, and try to hit as many enemies with your Anchor Smash as possible while getting their carry as well. Once you have your Blink Dagger, you can position yourself a lot easier. Just make sure you get your pipe on your team before you jump in. If you're still looking for more items to get, pick up a Shiva's Guard for more defense, or a Refresher Orb for more offense. So that's it for Tidehunter. Be sure to check out some of my other pub stomping videos and leave a comment. Just keep it clean and constructive. So now, go stomp some pubs with Tidehunter and let them know how you got so pro.